This is SP News Nugget. How you doing?
I'm good. You?
So what's going on with you?
Oh, nothing much. Actually, I just so happened to see your videos, and I met Dominique after this whole situation happened, and we've actually gotten pretty close. Like, I talk to him all the time, and I try to keep him uplifted and, support him as much as I can.
Dominique
So,
Williams?
uh-huh.
Oh,
I talk to him probably about twice a day, and I video chat him from time to time. So, with that being said, with him being in this predicament, we talk about this a whole lot.
right. Right.
Yeah. We talk about this a lot, so I pretty much know, a lot that's going on with the case. I see the last video had you a little disappointed.
It did. It had me disappointed. And so as I proceeded to hear and see what was going on, and I'm thinking to myself, no, I'm gonna have to be reasonable about this.
The,
I
the
don't.
part that got me was, and this was my very first thought when I saw it. I can't see a woman reporting her assault. You know what I'm saying? Like, what type of woman would actually record her assault? Like, if you're in that much distress, you get up.
Right.
So when I saw it, I thought them two knew each other and they were pulling a prank, because not a prank, but making a scene like for Pornhub or something. That's what I thought. I was like, nah, I don't believe this was a rape at all. I thought he was her husband when I first saw it. But as the details came out, and it's like, yeah, she got in a squirt contest afterwards, and and then I'm just looking at his mannerism the whole time. He didn't even strike me as a snake, Like, it takes a real snake type person to do something like that. So, I've never, ever, ever brought this story nor believed it. But, okay, I spoke to Dominique, and I actually told him about that affidavit that the state put out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was at his last court date, and I saw how the DA is a lady named Jennifer. I think I forgot her last name, so I think I'm not going to. But Jennifer, she's the DA, and her mannerism was so unprofessional. She was very unhinged, and she seemed like she was emotionally attached to the situation as well. And it could very well be her own past or something that she experienced in the past that made her feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
But she is like really out to get him. He has another attorney that you guys haven't seen yet. It's a man, and he has two attorneys because there's two different cases. But he has this man, and the man was actually, presenting some of the evidence, just, basically saying there's the toxicology showed no drugs in the system. There's neither one of the women seen him put anything in their drink, and he was just saying stuff like that. And the DA was very, very unhinged. So when they told her, it was an argument about whether or not there was proof of him putting anything in a drink, and the lady was like, well, even if their toxicology came back saying there was nothing in their system, and even if they didn't witness him putting anything in their drink, we can have a specialist come in and testify that they were under the influence of some sort of drug. So basically, she was saying having a specialist come that can say it's possible that they were drugged. So that's where she came up with. Now, what she said in the affidavit, she never said that in court. And I guarantee you, she won't get before a judge and say that. I just got choked up. Dominique read to me it's a surveillance camera detail report from Club Opera.
Mm-hmm.
And on the surveillance camera detail report, it specifically said that he went to the bar. He approached the bar. He got two drinks, and and he went in his pocket to get his wallet, I believe, to get his wallet, and the surveillance said he never did anything to those drinks. And it makes no sense to say that he did, because if a person is going to drug a drink, why would they stand at the bar where the bar is crowded with people waiting to get a drink? It would make more sense for him to walk through the club. And then her account of the situation don't even make sense. She said he went in his pocket, got a foreign substance out his pocket, put it in the other hand, crushed it up in the other hand, and sprinkled it on the drink. Now, I'm sure that the girl would have seen some sort of powder residue or something in her drinks if he did all this, if he crushed pills with his hand. So that whole scenario makes no sense.
Well, how could they say that and say that a camera picked it up?
That's a lie, because the camera that they're talking about picked it up, the camera from the bar, there's a total different description that Club Opera has, basically. But that's not the first lie that they told. This case has really exposed a lot of injustice in our system. They actually held him because of another Dominique Williams with all these other charges, and they tried to make it seem like Dominique was a flight risk. He don't need a bond because he did this, he did that in the past. He doesn't even have a criminal record. This man was in the military. He tried to live his life in a straight arrow, like, to the best of his ability. This is not him. So,
exactly.
Yeah, they're making it up. They're making all of that up. And even in court, they mentioned, they said Jasmine never went to get a rape kit. She asked for an STD kit instead. And they also said when an STD test came back, she had gonorrhea. And he said in his report, it also said she has hemorrhoids. So he's like, if I would have penetrated her in any type of way and she has hemorrhoids, it would have been blood spill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been something. He was like, the night would have been over with for her.
Right.
So, I can't really say exactly why they came up with this story, exactly why they did this, but I will say in court it was mentioned that the other girl, Tata, reached out to Jasmine after she filed a civil suit.
Right, she did.
They're like, she wanted to link up with her, and even with them, they actually dated. Like, she made it seem like they went out one time, he violated her, and that was that. That's just not the truth. He took her to her child's school. They went to the grocery store. I called one of his friends on the phone. The friend was like, he remembered meeting her through him at his house. I think they were all going to go pick up a rental car or something for her, and his friends were in the car with them. So they have been together on several occasions. Mm-hmm. She's an outright liar. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're on point with your videos though, because he's innocent and he's definitely a victim.
Right. I believe he is innocent. All my videos, if you look through all my videos, I've always, believed
defended him and supported him.
Yes, always, because, I can't get with the Me Too movement just because I'm a woman. I want the truth, and I just can't see. Just knowing his background tells me, a lot about him, being in the Army, having custody of his kids, taking care of his grandmother, never had a record before. That tells me some things right there. I just can't believe that he would just waste it just for a piece of a body, a booty, or whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, the person that they're depicting him as is so far from his personality. I wish if you get a chance, I'll give you the information, and you can put like a few dollars on your phone. Even if you put like $5 on your phone, mm-hmm. you will be able to actually he can call you, and you can actually have a conversation with him. And if you have a good discernment for people, you can tell who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying? And this man's story has never changed. It has never changed. It has been very consistent. And, the girls, their stories change constantly. It's always changing. It's always something new.
Exactly. I know his story never changed. I mean, But you know, it's not looking too good when you know,
The state is saying that there's a surveillance, but the state is lying. They have to produce this video evidence.
well,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
here's
huh?
yeah, well, here's the thing. I think Jasmine jumped on it. She didn't want to press charges, and she thought she can just go after the money. Well,
Uh-huh.
then the state was like, well, you know, we're going to prosecute. So they had to. The prosecutors went ahead and put the charges on Dominique. So when the state normally put charges on a person, that's never a good thing. That means they're going to try to make an example out of him.
But let me tell you something. They can try all they want, but Dominique paid over $50,000 for his attorney. Okay, they can get away with this with somebody who did not have a paid attorney that has a public defender. This lady has 3 big boxes of evidence showing his innocence. Dominique has yet to have his day in court, and what I mean by have his day in court is when he actually goes to a trial to present any evidence. When this goes to trial, they're going to tear them to shreds because the lawyer is keeping note of all the inconsistencies. Like the first hearing that they had, and she was asking that investigator all of those questions. When the fact came out, the lady just outright lied. Like, she told a lot of lies, and that's not gonna fly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the state, they picked up the case or whatever, but the thing about it is they still have the burden of proof. They have to prove their case. And if they're saying that they have this video showing this, but then Dominique's attorney have a video showing something different. And even with the girl's text messages, like, they trying to bring that into play. There's transcript of her text messaging him saying this and saying that. Well, what they probably don't know, I don't know if they know or not, but what they probably don't know is his attorney has subpoenaed all of the messages, and those messages were altered. That was not the communication that they had at all.
Oh, really?
So it was not. So that's another, and at this point, him and I discussed things like, it's not even about whether or not he's guilty or innocent. We talk about these different lies that these people told and what could possibly be done about these lies that were told.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, the text messages, those are not the original messages. What we saw was not their communication with each other at all.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't. But when she found out the girl had the civil suit, she had to build up something to get herself in on the case too. So right. She altered, and you can download the application, put whoever name on it, and you can text back and forth to yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can say whatever you want to say.
But what would Tata get out of saying this about him?
Him and Tata had a fallout. Okay. When Dominique cut her off because he said she was crazy. He said she was too crazy. What Tata didn't tell us was she forgot to tell us how she went to his house and tried to fight a girl that was at his house. Like, see, these are details that need to be known. And, she was basically upset because he didn't want any dealings with her because she was crazy. And if you look at her background, she got trespassing charges, she got assault charges. You know what I'm saying? She is pretty loopy. Because I did put her background up. And she crazy. And he was like, he didn't want anything to do with her. And when he moved on with another girl. He bought her a ring. They flexed and they flogging. She's a lady enraged, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when they fell out, since he knew her situation or whatever, he probably said some things that he probably shouldn't have said, like, father broke or whatever. And, that really messed her up. So she was out for blood. But if you listen to her closely, she did tell us that she experienced this before, that somebody violated her.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a bitter one. Like, she's obviously bitter. And even with Jasmine was violated by a family member when she was younger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to those things, sometimes women, sometimes they are so angry about what happened to them, they don't want to take anybody down.
Right.
But none of this stuff is true, and like I always tell him, it's a matter of having patience. Like, you just have to be patient because once you're in the system, it's not really easy to just work your way out. So he's not sitting in here because of guilt. He's sitting in here because it's a process. Like, it's a process. And I heard his attorney asking the DA, is there any way she can get this trial into court sooner?
What, his attorney asked the DA that?
I'm sorry, I was just talking. I said, this is the male attorney that came on.
Mm-hmm.
He asked the DA. I was in there before Dominique came out. He asked the DA. He said, "Well, is there any way you could try to get this case on your calendar at least sometime like the end of September?" And she was like, "Well, I can't make no." She was like, I doubt that because I got cases. I can't. She was very, very nasty about it. But his other attorney feels like there's over enough evidence to go ahead and take him to trial now. Like, take him to trial now. So it's a matter of them getting him in the system and him being able to have his day in court and present all the evidence that he has. Basically, the defense haven't shown their hand yet. They have shown very, very little. But the information that they have is really, really mind-blowing.
Okay.
Like, when you find out all the inconsistencies, it's mind-blowing. So, I don't want people to be discouraged thinking like, well, he's sitting in here still, he must be guilty. It's a process, and it's a legal process.
Okay.
So wait for his court date, and I will definitely be there. I'm just ready for them to present their evidence.
Are you going to keep us informed about what's going on?
Absolutely, because Dominique can't be a voice for himself.
So why you never called in on the show?
I never seen it live. I never knew that it was live. Definitely keep people informed because I want people to know, like, just because you see a story reported a certain type of way, or just because you think that you saw something, what you think you saw is not always what you saw. Like, you have to take some of these things with a grain of salt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because this man was really, really, honestly, he was being a gentleman to that girl the whole night.
That's what I seen. That's
the whole time. Mhm.
That's what I seen. Now, so how close are you and Dominique? Are y'all like, you go and visit him?
No, we visit. We do remote visits. Like, we do video visits.
Oh, videos.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Because if I was to go down there, it would be the same thing. Like, I would basically have to pick up a phone and look at him in a screen and
in a video. So you might as well just I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we do video. We do video chat. Every so often. But he does call every day. Now, right now, he's in a hole because he was having some issues with one of the correction officers, and he made a report. And they retaliated against him and put him in a hole. So he's in a hole right now. But he's still able to call probably like when he's since he's been in a hole, he's been able to call like maybe once every other day.
Mhm.
But not as much. But yeah, we're pretty tight because he doesn't have any family here. And I try to stay in contact with him in case he needs he needs me to call his attorney. He needs me to call somebody about some money. He may need me to call because he can't do anything. He's just disabled being in there.
Exactly.
So, I try to talk to him. So I'm like, okay, is there anybody you need me to call today? Who do you need me to contact today? Things of that nature. And we basically just talk about the case and stuff.
Okay. So, did you tell him about there's some channels that are on his side?
I actually let him hear some of your video.
Oh, you did?
Mhm. I played it for him. We were doing a video visit, and I actually played the video, and I let him actually see. Because the video is kind of lengthy, and he only had like 30 minutes on the video chat. So I did let him see it. So he did see the video, and it made him feel better because in this type of predicament, it seems like the world is against you.
Mhm.
So, and the thing about it is, people are so stuck on believing the original story that they first heard that when you try to change their mind, they can't. They can't shift their mind from what they think they saw.
Oh, there's a
So,
lot of people that don't. There now, trust and believe. There's more people that believe that he's guilty, but there is a big group that don't believe that he's guilty.
oh, I know, and you know what? In
And
fact, everybody, it's a lot of people that I see on social media that believe he's guilty, but when I talk to people about it, like in person, in real life, a lot of them don't really believe it.
yeah,
They don't believe it.
I
But
think
but I think
basically a lot of the females gonna go with it because she's a female, and they kind of bully you. I mean, I got bullied when I first started reporting about it. They were like, "Wait till it's happened to you, and you're just disgusting as a woman." And I'm like, "Hey, look here, I would be the first one to be an advocate for someone that got abused or sexually something happened to. Trust me,
let,
if I told you my story, I would be the first, but I surely know that this child did not do this to this young lady. I can
I'm gonna tell
guarantee
you,
it.
I'm gonna tell you what's going on with a lot of women as well. Um, a lot of women aren't as strong as you. Um, in fact, 1 in 4 women have been violated sexually.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of victims out here,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
All they saw was darkness, right?
Right.
When a lot of times when a woman is getting assaulted, I think the first thing, her first reaction will probably be to close her eyes. And when you close your eyes, it's dark, right?
Right.
So they're able to make that correlation with the darkness and hearing her sound like she's being assaulted.
Right.
So when they saw the darkness and hearing her, it triggered a lot of people.
Mhm.
Like it was a real trigger for a lot of people. And that's why I think that's another reason why there are so many people that are adamant about saying he was guilty. And even after he's found not guilty, there's gonna be still some people that's like, no, I still think he did it because I saw him lick his finger. Stupid stuff,
Yeah.
you know. And it's so crazy because the things that we think we saw, we did not see.
Exactly.
We just didn't see it, and that's just the bottom line.
Exactly. I know.
So,
I know.
yeah, I can't wait for him to have this day in court. Though I tell him all the time, like, I need you to come on and come through with it because I need to show these people that I know what I'm talking about. If I'm right and I'm not tripping. Because I don't know if you're in any of the Facebook groups, but I made all the groups that are justice for him, and people wish stuff on me, my kids, all kinds of stuff, but I don't pay them no attention because I understand, like, they just don't know, and they don't know any better. So,
Right.
they're gonna feel like that. But yeah, you're on point though. He's innocent. He's a victim, and this is basically like that Central Park 5, except for he actually had an interaction with these people. But
Right.
it definitely wasn't a rape.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't a rape. I don't believe it was a
No.
rape.
And I'm gonna tell you something else. It wasn't a sexual assault either. Neither one of those are true. Um, there's a paper that she has that says, because remember she changed her story. First she said it was a sexual organ that she was anally penetrated with. Then she changed it to, oh, no, it was just a finger, right?
Right.
But there's documents where she checked she was assaulted with a sexual organ.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So there's so many inconsistencies with their stories that even the state won't be able to defend them. Even the state, as much as they may try, they're not going to be able to defend it at all.
Yeah.
And then the judge that he has, it's a young white lady, and she seems pretty young. And if she has a drop of common sense, she will see that this man is innocent. And I think that she's pretty logical. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's as emotional as the DA is. And if I had to make a guess, the DA is a victim of something herself, honestly.
Probably so. Yeah.
I think the judge will be able to see the truth, and that's all Dominique wants. He's like, I don't want no favoritism. I don't want no special treatment. I just want a fair trial. He's like, I just want them to see the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's special. I just want them to see the truth. That's it. That is it. So, he's innocent, and he's going to be fine. I know it looks kind of messed up now, but don't pay that no attention, because that lady did not go to court and say that. And then, how would they wait this many months later to come up with that?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if that was the case, they should have been viewed Club Opera cameras and came to this conclusion. They're just now coming up with it. So, basically, the state has a track record of lying on him. This is simply no different. This is no different. You know, like her saying he went in his pocket. Like, instead of her knowing that he went in his pocket to pay for a drink, because the drinks aren't free.
Right.
She's saying that, you know, he went in his pocket to get some foreign substance, and it doesn't even make any sense. And then not only that, there's not one single person that was in that club that night that is a witness for Jasmine. How is that? Not one. Not one. Every witness that has come forward in the defense of Dominique. Now, I'm going to tell you another reason why I didn't believe it. Because we're talking about Club Opera. This is not some hole-in-the-wall Atlanta ratchet hood club. That's not what's going on. So the caliber of people that were in the club that night, they're not going to stand by and watch a rape. Trifling people to stand by and watch a woman being raped. That type of caliber of people were not in the club. These are decent people. You got nurses in there. You know, people with real careers. Like, so, that's not what Club Opera Camera said, and they'll never be able to take that evidence to court, because they've got to show this evidence.
Right.
They have to show it. They can't just say this. And the good thing about it is there are 222 angles that Dominique's attorney has that shows that this man did absolutely nothing. She went through all of the footage. 222 angles that shows he's innocent. Because in a club, it's not dark and grainy like the videos that we saw. The club videos have light. Their surveillance actually has some sort of light. So you can see clearly what he's doing in their surveillance. So anything they'll try to do, it won't work, because this man was under constant surveillance the whole time. As far as Tata goes, once they get those real text messages and see that it was a real relationship, it was a part of the case while Dominique was still locked up. The friend was like, well, what does that girl got to do with anything? He was like, the girl is part of the whole situation. The friend was like, I know you lying. Not the one that was at your house that we took to go get a rental car. And you took her to go get her rental car. This is what his friend was saying. So Tata tried to tell us that they met one day, and he took her home and raped her, and that was it. That's just not the truth.
Right.
That's just not true. So, yeah, I just wanted to let you know that you are on the right track. Don't feel discouraged about the affidavit that came out.